Let's talk about one of my favorite things tonight is pricing. And yes, that is one of my favorite things to talk about. And I love talking about pricing, and I want to help you grow your business so that you can be successful. Because if you don't know how to price, you're going to go out of business. That's a guarantee. I promise you, you will go out of business. Did you know that it's like 25% of businesses only last till 50, right? Or till 5 years. And so yes, you might not go out of business this year, but you will go out of business if you don't go out there and do what I say and start listening about pricing and why it's important. And I'm going to break down why, not just about the pricing, but why you should price for your growth of your business so that you can be successful. And so that is what I am going to talk about tonight. That's what I'm going to hit on tonight. And so this is one of those things. Yes, I'm on pressure washing and my Christmas light page, but this is one that I am going to hit on both sides of why it's so important. In the good old day of, Jason, you just don't understand. In my area, and I loved it because in my Christmas light group, there was a guy that was, in my area, you can't get that. And another guy posted and been like, I get $9 a foot. You need to raise your prices, because he's literally in the same exact area. And so don't give me the crap of in my area. So that is what we're going to hit on tonight. But before we get going, let's see who all is in the house. Let's see what we got going on here. I'm going to see if I can actually also put this in my Facebook group in my Facebook. So let me know how you guys are doing tonight on this awesome Sunday night in August. It was a beautiful day today. It wasn't so humid. It's been crazy humid around here. And so that is awesome for us and everybody. So that way you're not, so hot that it is crazy. So again, I want to start walking through some of these people that are on the live. I appreciate you on the live. If you come later, that is awesome also. And like I say, I'm going to try to put this in my one group so that way people can see it in there also. So before we get started here, if you did not know, I am on the pressure washing and Christmas lights, but if you are in the Christmas light group, I am giving away some stuff. And if you're not in the Christmas light group, you can go to christmaslights.io/group. And these are some awesome things that I am giving away this week. I'm going to give one thing away this week. And so you can pick and choose what you want. And the way you do it is whoever posts is 4 points and each comment is 1 point. And so I am going to give a pitch hopper away, or I'm going to give a 100-foot starter kit for Christmas lights, or I'm going to give a custom built website for you, for your business, whether it's pressure washing Christmas lights. I'm going to give away a 1-hour coaching call with me, or I'm going to give a free ticket coming up to my Michigan training class. So that could work for you in pressure washing or Christmas lights, but it is only going to be in the Christmas light group. So if you would like to have one of those things and want to try to win, I would say you got till next Sunday. I'm going Sunday to Sunday. And then next Wednesday night on my Zoom call live for my Christmas light one, I will be giving away the winner. Through Facebook kind of tells me who's been the most active, and that is what I am going to go off of to give this away for you guys, because I want you all to be safe and I want you all to get started. And so that is what I am doing. So the book of the week, this is going to be a little bit different of a book of a week. And this book for the week is something about storytelling. Unleash the power of storytelling. And so reason why originally when I got this book, and I've been reading it because I'm doing 75 hard, which I'm almost done, thank God. But reading this book through that, and originally I was like, is this really good for business? And it is. It is really good for business because it talks about how you can tell stories to sell your product better, right? It's back to not quit selling the bulb, quit selling the pressure washing, quit selling the chemicals, quit selling the stuff, and sell your story, right? Sell the magic of Christmas lights. Sell the whatever their problem is, right? You figure out what their problem is, and now we can give them a solution so that way we can sell better. And so this week's book of the week is Unleash the Power of Storytelling. So that is this week's book. So with that, let's get this show on the road. Let's go. Sign me up for mentorship, please. If you want to join my mentorship for pressure washing or Christmas lights, it's kingofpressurewash.com/mentorship. Nate, hi from Arizona. How are you doing? We got Richard. Good evening from Washington State, all the way across the country. On the other side, I'm going to turn Facebook off because it's loud binging, and I'll turn that off. It looks like we're going to be talking pricing. In my mind, treat the customer right. It doesn't matter the price. Hey, Jason and everyone, how are you doing? My close rate has been around 75%, and I've been charging around 40 to 50 cents a square foot downstreaming. That's awesome. That means you can raise your price even more. Big time is in the house. Mr. George Yost, how are you doing? Look at the Haver household income in my area was $30,000 to $35,000 a year or less, and they're still willing to pay 40 to 45 cents a square foot. And it's all about up here at the end of the day, and we will talk about that. Mr. Phillip, how are you? Here, hey there, checking in from Chicago. Awesome, Chicago. I haven't been up there in a while. We got Miss Carol. Good evening. You can see that I didn't even try to pronounce your first name. I'm going to say Renee. I don't know. I'm not good at English. Caesar, good evening, guys. How are you doing? We got F-Bomb in the house. If you don't know your cost and business numbers in order to charge right, you will either work yourself to death or wear yourself out or put yourself out of business. Numbers are everything. And yes, I am going to hit on this right here because a lot of people don't know their numbers. Always great to gain more knowledge from you. Well, glad you're on here, Robert. Hopefully you learned something, take some action, and go kill it. We got Mr. Sean up from Newfoundland, Canada. What's up? How are you doing? We got F-Bomb. How much is it? Good evening from ARH Soft Wash Service. So mentorship is a little bit different. I don't really talk about mentorship much. Mentorship is one that it is more. It is a lot more of me, and I'm going to probably come up with some more packages before long. But it is something that I have Marco Polo app. We do a once a week Zoom call. There's about 8 to 10 people in this group. They're all doing anywhere from my low end is about 100,000 or a little less to about almost $1 million and everywhere in between. And so there's a lot of awesome people in there. How do you charge for wreath, garland, and trees? We'll hit on that. Maybe ask that question a little bit later when I get going here. Like Denise, just RA instead. So Renice then is what I'm assuming. Hey, Jason. Real glad to be back on your lives after living in Israel with the wife for the past year. I forgot about that. How was that? That is awesome. Of course, I don't know if it was awesome here lately, but it might have been not so awesome. All right. So let's get this show on the road. So as F-Bomb said earlier, you got to know your price. The number one reason why businesses go out of business in America is because of financial problems. Because they run out of money, they don't have cash flow, they don't have those things that will help them grow their business. That is the number one reason why businesses go out. You can look it up anywhere and it will say financial will be the number one reason. And here's the reason why I believe that this is a big problem. If you read the book E-Myth, and I would highly recommend E-Myth. E-Myth is a great book to read, and it talks about how you run a business when you have an employee mindset versus an entrepreneur mindset versus a manager mindset. And a lot of times when we get into this business, whether it's pressure washing or Christmas lights, we get into this business with an employee mindset. I was making X at this job, and I can come over here and make 3 times that in pressure washing, and I'm just going to kill it. But we don't realize how much does it cost us to run a business. And so when you really know your numbers, and I ask you, how much does it cost you to leave their house every day? Most people aren't going to be able to tell me that cost. I know Nathan last year broke it down, and for him to leave the house, it costs like $300, like $290 to leave the house. Now you might say, Jason, how do you come up with that? How do you come up with that cost? How do you know how to break down your costs? And so the one thing that you need to do is you need to take all of your money that you made and all of your expenses, right? All of your expenses that you've made, and divide that into how many jobs you did a year. And there's a lot of expenses that you don't even realize that you have, I promise you. Because, I just got an email. Dave Hamill called me or messaged me last week, and he was like, Jason, they're canceling my insurance. What do I need to do? Well, I just talked to another guy that his insurance for their general liability, their workers' comp, all of this used to be like $2,000 or $3,000, right? That was what they were paying. Well, now they're making more money, and guess what? The more money you make, the more everything goes up. It's just the way it is. If you're going off of numbers of 2 years ago, I promise you everything else goes up as you make more money. Because when you're making $200,000 is cheaper than when you're making $400,000 or $500,000, because insurance wants their money, payroll tax, our workers' comp, all of these extra factors, extra uniforms, the guys screw more stuff up, so you got to take all of these prices and put them in there and see it. And so just for instance, this one, just for workers' comp and their insurance, is like $20,000. And so we don't see it as $20,000, right? That's kind of mind blowing. Now, this is for a business that's going to do, close to $1 million this year if they don't do over $1 million. And so these are things that are going to happen, that are going to come to you. And if we are charging the same prices that we charged 3 years ago or 5 years ago, or if you're charging the same price I was charging 5 years ago when I was in business, you're probably not going to make it. Now, I get it. A lot of this is right up here in the brain, right between the 6 inches of your ears. The 6 inches between your ears is either what's going to make you or break you. Because if you have a belief in this, that you can't make more money than X, then guess what? You're right 100%, because this here is going to tell you you can't make more money than X. And so that is why it is important to understand how to charge. Now, do I give people a framework of pricing? Sure I do, because when you're starting out, you don't know what to do. You were making $20-$50 an hour, and now you go pressure washing, and I'm telling you to charge $200 to $300 an hour, and that is like mind-blowing, right? That is mind-blowing to make $300 an hour when you come from a $20 an hour job or a $40 an hour job. But when you believe it, this is what happens. And so I just seen someone in one of the groups posted in the pressure washing thing that they're like, you should charge 15 cents for house washing and 10 cents for concrete cleaning. And I put in there, this is the best way to go out of business. These prices are to go out of business. So the reason why I tell people to charge 20 to 30 to 40 cents a square foot is because that's where you're going to make your profit, right? I want to do less work and make more money. So I had one guy that came into my membership last year, and his name is Rick, and he did $150,000 the year before. pretty good, right? He worked his butt off and he made $150,000. I told him and I showed him how to get more customers, and guess what happened? He made $300,000 last year and did half as much work as he did the year before. Because when you charge more, you think that when you charge less, you're going to get all of these customers. But in reality, when you charge less, you get a bunch of pain in the butt customers. Cheap customers are your worst customers. Period. Because when you charge $300-$400 to someone that's only making $50,000, that is a lot of money. But if you charge $1,000 that someone's making $100,000 to $200,000, that ain't so bad, right? Because it's a different mindset that the people have and the people that you're trying to get. Now, there is a point that you get too high of people, then they're just a pain in the butt because they want to pay it out and don't want to do it anyway. So that is the thing that you have to remember. So when you charge cheap, you're charging, you got wear and tear on your equipment. You got crappy equipment because you can't afford to replace it. You don't have marketing because you can't afford to market. You can't do any of these other things when you charge cheap. It's just the way that it is. And a lot of times when you charge cheap, you will miss out on a lot of opportunities. And the number one thing that people fall into a pit of is, I would never buy that. Well, quit buying with your wallet and start buying with their wallet, because their wallet is the one paying you. Your wallet is not the one paying you. I promise you, your number is not the one paying them. Now, you can say, well, I want to be the Walmart, right? Because if you go put your yard signs in front of Walmart, you're going to get Walmart customers. They want cheap, they want crap, and they don't care, right? Or you can go put your in Whole Foods and they want better stuff. They want quality. They understand the difference between quality of Whole Foods versus quantity of Walmart. Right? Because that is the thing that you have to remember as we are thinking about quantity versus quality. Because here's the deal. With quality, I can do a better service. I can do all of the things. Here, I'm going to go back to Rick Moosey, right? Rick Moosey is one that he did half as much work and made twice as much money. So what does that mean? He can do a better job. He can go and go the extra mile with his customers, and he can take care of them. It doesn't matter if I'm talking about Christmas lights or pressure washing or whatever business you're in. If I have hundreds of houses that I have to take care of, it's going to be harder to make everybody else happy versus I only have 100. I make the same amount of money doing it at 100 versus here. And actually you make more because the profit margin, it's going to cost you to do the same. It's going to cost you to do, as whether you do this many houses, it's still going to cost you the same, but your profit margin is going to be way better because that is what it's about. I know in 2024, we're always taught that profit is a bad word. Profit is not a bad word. I understand that a lot of times we can't get our head wrapped around of profit is a bad word, and profit is not a bad word. So this is why I tell you to charge $8 to $12 a foot for Christmas lights. There's people out there selling them for $14 a foot. This is why in pressure washing, I tell you to sell it at 20 to 30 cents, 35 cents a square foot for cleaning a house, or 30 cents for doing concrete cleaning, or 45 cents for doing roof cleaning, right? Because these are things that as you will try and do. Now, what I will tell you is you have to be believing in yourself. So I want you all to answer this question. Are you the best in your area? Are you the number one person in your area? That's a question I have for you. Because here's the thing. If you don't believe you're the best in your area, neither are your customers. They're not going to believe it either. So You got to believe that you are the best. You are awesome. You are amazing. You will take care of that customer like no other. And guess what happens when you do that? People will believe you on the other side. And that's the whole point of this. That's the whole reason why you need to believe in yourself. And when you believe in yourself, and it's not, and some people might say it's arrogant, some people might, it's not, because you got to believe in yourself. You were designed to believe in yourself. If you don't believe you're the best, neither is your customer. And that's the most important part, because if your customer doesn't believe you're the best, guess what? There's 500 pressure washers out there, and there's 500 Christmas light people. Now, one way to be the best is answer your daggone phone. That's the number one way to be the best. That'll be way better than most of the other people out there that won't answer their phone. So think about it that way when you're talking quantity versus quality. And then what are your hidden costs that you don't know, right? Everybody's like, well, in pressure washing, I only got to pay for bleach. It's $5 a gallon. Or in Christmas lights, a bulb clip. Well, what about storage? What about your website? What about marketing? What about paying your sales guy? What about workers' comp? What about employees? What about what about when they put the ladder through the window? What about when they broke the ladder? What about what are some other costs that y'all done that you've screwed up, right? Because those are all your costs, but I only got a bulb and clip, or I only got to pay for my pressure washer, my bleach. Well, what happens when your pressure washer breaks down? Well, I ain't got no money for that because I didn't think about that. So that's why we charge what we charge. Now, I get it. People will tell me over and over and over. I hear it over and over and over that you can't get it in my area. I loved it today because when I posted about this in the Christmas Light group, there's a guy from Louisiana, and Jason, you just don't understand. You can't get that in my area. $6 is all you can get down here. And there was another guy like, I live in your area. I'm getting $9 a foot. That's the mentality that you got to have. You got to get rid of that cheap crap mentality. And I get it. It's hard. It's not easy. It's hard because you're going to get no's. But $6 from $9, if they're not going to pay $900, they're probably not going to pay $600. So that's why you charge the $900, because you get 20% of the people that pay $900. Guess what? You got $300 worth of profit on top of the little bit of profit that you would have had. So that is something that you have to think about when you're looking at this. Some other hidden costs, marketing expenses, right? Are you putting 10% back into your business for marketing? What about your insurance and your liability and your car insurance and your vehicle insurance? And what happens if something burns down, and all of those insurances, right? And then the other thing is the psychology of pricing, right? This is something that, low prices, people don't always go with the low prices. I had a guy the other day, this week, that, he was almost twice as much as the other guy. And he got the job because the guy was like, I don't see how he can do it for that cheap. And so guess what? He didn't get the job being cheap. He's cheap and didn't get the job. And this happens all the time. The other reason why they don't get it because they're cheap, because they don't have a CRM. They're not doing no follow-up. They're not doing all of the things that cost money and takes time for you to set yourself apart from everyone else. And that is something that you have to think about. And guess what? There is clients out there that will pay the premium price. They're out there. You just got to go find them. You got to know how to do marketing and go find the people that will do it. And then at the end of the day, you got to know what your worth is, right? Some of you think you're only worth $20 an hour. Start thinking and getting around people that make $1,000 an hour. Start thinking and getting around people that make $10,000 an hour. $10,000 an hour. Think about people that make $10,000 a day. Get around those people. Start thinking like those people. Start believing like those people, and it will happen. Because when you get around those people and you see what they're not doing nothing special, but they're able to do it and they're able to get it. We got Mr. F-Bomb in here. He's a disabled vet, and he's killing it, right? He's absolutely killing it. Now, could he do more? Sure he could, but he's happy where he's at, right? And so that's what it's all about. He's got a good life. He's got in there. But you might say, Jason, I'm only pressure washing. No, you're not. You're doing way more than spraying water. One, you got to be a chemist. You got to know how the chemicals react. Because, yes, can they go spray bleach on it? But what if they had acid in the container and it blows up on them? I love when I pull, actually the neighbor's house that we did this big lighting job from this house, for this house that I'll be doing a live on Tuesday and talking about how this went. I did a big permanent light job. And the neighbor's driveway, this thing is probably about 300 feet long, 400 feet long. And you can see the marks all the way down there. And I looked at that and I said, that poor dude, it took him forever. He had a surface cleaner. It was only about an 8-inch surface cleaner. And you could see where he went back and forth all the way down that driveway. I'm like, that took that dude 2 days to do that driveway. Where if you would have paid someone like you that knows what's going on, you would have pre-treated, you would have had it done probably within about 5 or 6 hours and been in and out, and it would have looked better. You wouldn't have seen where he went. So that is something that you got to think about, calculating your worth. And the importance of proper budgeting for a seasonal business is another thing. Because guess what? This is a seasonal business, both of them. Christmas lights, pressure washing. And pressure washing is seasonal during the season, right? What do I mean by that? March, April, May, and a little bit of June, you'll be so busy you don't know what to do with. June, July, and August, the brakes will hit the brakes will come to a scalding honk, and you'll barely make any money. And then September and October, it'll start getting busy again. For Christmas lights, I get it. There's people in some of the groups who are like, oh, look at all this money I'm making. They've been in business for a long time. It's completely different. If you're just starting out, it's going to take you a little bit of time. But what I will tell you is even if this is your first year doing Christmas lights, don't plan on doing a whole lot till November, because you're not going to get a lot of jobs unless you're dominating and you got some money in marketing and you have figured that out. Other than that, don't plan on making a crap ton of money, right? It's not going to happen. So you got to remember, and then guess what happens? You'll make a lot of money in November and December. You'll make $100,000, make $500,000. Guess what happens in January? Nothing, right? But you got to go take down the lights. You got to put them in a storage place. February, slow, nothing. So make sure that you do your budgeting. So you budget for August, July and August, and you budget for January and February and possibly March, because you got to think about that for this. So some ways to get higher pricing is packages, right? Packages. Now, you don't have, if you have, I liked Dylan actually posted this today, and it makes a lot of sense. So if you have a house that has 100 feet of lights and a wreath, and you quote 100 foot of lights at $9 a foot, that's $900, and a $400 wreath, you're at $1,500. Don't do the lights at $900 and the wreath at $1,500, and maybe some trees. Bring that bottom one up even more, so that way it's a better value for them to get the higher end package, and that way you will actually make more money in the end. I made $2,000 an hour and a half renting off a new construction project. That's $1,300 for every 75 minutes. That's awesome. Overcoming client objections. How do you adjust value, right? You got to show value. And again, this is not about selling bulbs. If you're selling bulbs, if you're selling pressure washing, it's going to be real hard to give value, right? It's going to be really hard, because that is not where the value is at. Selling the stuff is you done lost your game. You're done behind, right? You're done. You done gave it up at that point. When you start selling the bulbs, and we know we do LEDs and we spray bleach and we use soft wash. We don't pressure wash. You done lost it. You done lost where you needed to be at. You need to build relationships. You need to show the value of it. That's the importance of how you're able to get over this, and show that you're the best. Hey, you want to go look at my 5-star reviews? I have 500 5-star reviews. There's a lot of value in having the most 5-star reviews than anywhere in your area. So you got to have ways to show value. And guess what? When you sell that job and you go ask for their friend, that's when you even make a lot more money. Because if you look at your numbers, and again, if you know your numbers and you know where your bids are coming from, so if you know if it's coming from a referral, if it's coming from AdWords, coming from Facebook, coming from Google local service ads, coming from yard signs, and guess what? What you'll find out is your referrals will be at a higher close rate and they'll be at a higher price. So that is something that you got to work on, is your referrals. If you can work on referrals, it will help you in so much that will be completely mind-blowing to you. Because again, the 5-star reviews and then the referrals, right? Because this builds value and this builds trust, right? Because they trust their friends, and if their friends recommending them, guess what? You're probably going to be way better in the end. So steps. So what are some steps? Raise your prices. I know, if you know your numbers, great. Figure it out. And the reason why I say 8 to 12, and guess what? I know people that charge $14 a foot. So don't just stop at 12. Don't be afraid. I know people that charge 40 cents a square foot for a house wash. Don't be afraid to raise your prices. I know sometimes that everybody is scared to death of it, but you got to think about this when you're growing your pressure washing and Christmas light business. Because if you want to be in business, you got to stay there. And here's the thing. If you want to grow and scale, this is all about growing and scaling. Because at $8 to $12 a foot, guess what? I can hire a office manager. I can hire a shop manager. I can hire 2, 3, 4 technicians. I can hire what I need to hire, right? I can hire that. But if I'm cheap, I can't hire and scale my business. I'm only going to get to so far, and I'm going to be having all these hats on, and I'm going to get tired and I'm going to get wore out. And if something happens to you and you get hit by a car or a bus, guess what? You don't have a business anymore. And then you leave your spouse or your loved ones with nothing. They have a pressure washing trick or they have Christmas lights, and that's about all they have. And so this is why it is important to grow and scale your business. Should I offer a payment or a discount for referrals? I would do something with gift cards or something like that. Is a lot better than trying to do it the other way. So if you've got any questions on pricing, if you've got any questions on anything on pressure washing Christmas lights, put them in the chat and we will get to you. So that's all I got. Biggest thing is raise your prices. Like I said, I don't know why I wanted to talk about this today. I do because I seen 2 things that kind of struck me as one in pressure washing and one in Christmas lights. And so when I seen the one in my Christmas light group and the guy's like, you can't get this down here in Louisiana. And the other guy's like, yes, you can. I'm getting $9 a foot. And so I love when that happens, because then it's like, raise your prices. Don't tell me the bull crap that you can't get that in my area. I never forget Jason Hafner. Jason Hafner was one of my first mentors that I had done for him. He gave me his last $600 at the time so that I could mentor him, and now he's turned it into almost $300,000 a year. And when he first started doing mentorship and he came on the Voxer and he's like, Jason, you can't get that down here. There's only $99 guys here. And I said, don't worry about them. Do not worry about the $99 guy. If you worry about the $99 guy, you will be out of business, period. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. And so he's like, well, what I need to do? I was like, follow the process, right? Go put out 50-yard signs every week. Go get on Facebook Live. I don't like Facebook Live. Well, you get in my group and start doing Facebook Lives and then do them in there. And guess what? He did that. And guess what? Now he's doing $250,000 to $300,000 a year part-time because he's a full-time firefighter and he don't work very many weekends on the pressure washing business. And so that is why it is important that we raise our prices. Yes, Florida is it's a $39 down there. You can find people do it for $49. But his average ticket is like $800-900. And guess what? That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. All right, I got to scroll up here and see what we got going on. Always great to gain knowledge from you. Just booked my first job of the season this week, $2,200. That is awesome, dude. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Keep up the great work. Great weekend in South Alabama. Washing like mad. Mr. Robert, South Carolina. Hi, folks. Hope everyone's doing great. How do you charge for wreaths and garland and trees? And so this is so wreaths I charge anywhere from $350, $400 to about $600-700 for my 60-inch wreaths. It depends on how much I'm paying for them. If you're going to get like a good professional one at christmaslight.io, you're probably going to be about $500 to $600 for these. Reason why I get them at the Sam's Club, you can get them for $179, and I used them for 4 or 5 years. They look awesome during the daytime. They got bulbs, they got flowers, they look great, and that's why I use those, and that's how I charge. Garland is hard. To get good garland, you're going to pay $60, $70, $80 for a 9-foot section. And so you're charging $150 per 9-foot section, $150, $180 per 9-foot section. Most doors are going to take 3 sections. So that's how much it's going to charge you for doors. Trees, if you're just doing a bough wrap and just branch wrap in the trunk, I charge per foot of tree. So if it's a tree that loses its leaves, like oak trees, stuff like that, I'm a little bit cheaper. I'm anywhere from about $40 to $60 a foot. If it is a evergreen tree, I'm going to be about $40 to $70 a foot. I'm going to be toward the higher end of it because I got to go tighter. On trees, I'm wrapping for the oak trees and trees that lose their leaves from the fingertip to your elbow, so I don't have to put up as much. On evergreen trees, I'm from the fingertips down to the base of your hand every 6 inches because you can't see the lights on the other side. So that's why you got to do that. Not so awesome timing, but a lot of fun experiences for sure. Palm Beach is $275 is Georgia's minimum. The problem is everyone is cutting price. You can't worry about everyone cutting price. They're not cutting price. They never was up in the first place. Most people go and call 3 or 4 businesses when they start their business. This is the worst thing you can do. I'm going to give you the worst thing. That's something that you should not do, period. You go and you call 3 or 4 competitors to get a price. You finally get one competitor that will give you a call back and answer your phone and give you a price. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go cheaper than what that guy was, right? Because this guy was already cheap, so I'm going to go cheaper than him. But I'm going to give better quality than this other guy. Well, what you don't know is the other guy is out of business or ready to go out of business. So that's why we don't worry about other people's pricings. What's up, Artie? How are you doing? Monthly payments such as cell phone, business, vehicle insurance, fuel costs, equipment costs, fuel, vehicle costs, chemicals, equipment, repairs, maintenance, CRMs, accounting, QuickBooks, divide it by 30 days. Yes, exactly. That are just some of your costs. There's more than that on top of it. Break down the numbers monthly, every 3 months to yearly. You will provide you the best ratio. Oh, I'm at 45 cents a square foot for a house wash with a minimum of 450. I'm going to 50 soon. Taxes here are murder, though. That's because you are in. Yeah. People with money know value. They will also pay what you ask if they see the value. But if you don't ask for it, they won't give it to you. Also, to see what your job numbers and take your job's total and divide it by the total gross. Yes. What's up, H2O? We got Sean. I've been struggling with Google Ads. I tried to do it myself. Was success at first. Then it turned for worst. Hired a company and did a horrible job. Any tips would be appreciated. I'd probably go back to doing it yourself. Google Ads has not been very friendly here lately. Last year they wasn't very friendly. Google Local Service Business is. I would tell you to do Google Local Service Business. But Google Ads, we did some for Christmas lights last year for DJ. I didn't do much for pressure washing this year because we've not had a very good success rate on Google Ads. It's just, I don't know why, but Google has not been very friendly at all. My average is high and our jobs are low. 1 to 2 jobs a day, 3 jobs a week, and still average $3,500. 14 weeks, just to give an idea. Know your numbers. Taxes have been a big expense for us this year. We actually changed CPAs and found a way to save $7,500 in taxes. Yeah. If you didn't know, a CPA will either make or break you. You need a good CPA, and I would even say you could probably get a better CPA than that. But yes, CPAs are definitely something that can hurt or make you. I did a bid for the post office and they decided to go with another route. Now they have holes all over and they're asking me to come out and do a bid to fix it. Yep. Because cheap is always cost you more in the end. And that's the thing. People that value stuff understand that it costs you more in the end, right? Cheap is not always great. I made one job. Yeah, I said that. Should I offer payment or discount for referrals? I like to do like a gift card to the person that's offering it or something along those lines. Seems to do better. Wreaths and garlands and tree pricing. I hit on that. That's roughly how you break it down to know your cost. How do you approach pricing commercial jobs, city and government jobs? So when you're talking about city and government jobs, you have to bid whatever they have, right? They're going to give a thing out and you have to bid to the exact same thing that they're wanting out, right? So if they're saying, hey, you got to use this type of equipment, you have to do this type of stuff, and you have to do the specs of it, you have to do it to the law. Like, it has to be pretty much dead nuts of that, right? It's got to be, if you're talking pressure washing, it's got to be, hey, you're going to do this section and you're going to do this section, and that's how you're going to bid that. Now, what I will say sometimes with government jobs and city jobs is sometimes they have a point where they don't have to bid it out. And so what you can do is you can break it up and be like, hey, I will do this for $995. I will do that next month for $950, and I will do that the following week for whatever, right? And so there's a way that you can break this up to help with that. With commercial, obviously we're not charging the same rate at square footage. Actually, DJ and I got in an argument over this week, and we're going to see who's right. If he wins it, then he was right. If he loses it, I'm going to be like, I told you so. But the last time he bid it that way, he did win it, and so he got good at it. He wasn't the lowest; he was in the middle, and so we'll see how this one works. What's the best place to get advertising materials? I'm assuming you're talking yard signs, door hangers, stuff like that. I like moneybushes.com because it helps me out. Anything you buy from there, which they do got good signs, they got all of that kind of stuff. UZ Marketing is one place. I mean, these here, I'll be honest, I put these on Canva, and I actually got them printed off of Canva because could I probably got them cheaper? Sure, but it made it easy, right? I'm about easy. Most of your customers is about easy. When you make things difficult, when you start talking about the bulbs and you start talking about the chemicals and they don't give two craps about it, guess what? It's not easy. You got to make things easy, right? And so Canva makes it easy. Now, do I pay more? Sure, but it's easy. So all I had to do is hit print and put in my card, and they're like 50 cents a piece. Could I got it cheaper? I guarantee I could have. Would it took me a lot more work and probably wouldn't have got done? I guarantee you that's probably what would have happened. So your customers are just like me. They want it easy. The easier you make it, the more they'll pay, the faster they'll pay, and you'll just move right on because it's got to be easy. Facebook Live on my business page? Yep, you can. Pick one and do it. Also, how do you go about retaining recurring business from a previous customer? Ask them, hey, have you ever thought about doing this monthly? Have you ever thought about doing this yearly? You just got to ask. You got to ask. Anonymous. What are your options if you don't believe you can get $8 a foot? Giving up, start believing, find someone that believes, do not count. Do what? Well, obviously you're anonymous, so you... what are your options? Start believing. Start believing. Read your 5-star reviews. Have you ever read your 5-star reviews? Any of you? Have you ever read your 5-star reviews? I promise you, you'll start believing because you'll be like, man, I am awesome. These 50 reviews say I'm awesome, so I got to be awesome. You know, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and he says he makes his sale guys go read 5 to 10 their 5-star reviews every day before they go out to sell. Why? Because it's telling them how awesome they are. And guess what? When you read how awesome it is, it's amazing how that works. Do you have marketing? Do you have marketing? I have websites. I have some other things. If you join the membership, if you join King of Pressure Wash or ChristmasLights.io, you'll get a website. If you want a website, it's a little bit different. If you want some SEO, I haven't worked on my packages on that yet. What is the alternative to Google Ads? How is everyone getting the most leads? And here's the thing. It's not one source, right? Don't think that you're going to put all your eggs in one source and it's going to be the best thing. You know, this is why I would do Google Ads. I do Google local service ads. I would do Facebook ads. I would do Facebook. I did LinkedIn. I did yard signs. I did my 5-arounds. Because when you got 7 different lead sources, guess what? During a day, you're going to get 2 or 3 lead sources that's going to call you. So if you didn't do those 7 lead sources, you only did 1, you're only going to get 1 lead source. So that means instead of getting 4 leads a day, when you got 7, you're only going to get 1 or 2 leads. And so that's why you kind of got to do it all to really start moving it up. For Christmas lights, Facebook ads, last year, they didn't do very well. This year, I don't know what they're going to do. I know they have been working for some people. I have been paying attention to some of the people that I know. They have been working and getting leads for Christmas lights. So you can try your Facebook ads. Yard signs. We love yard signs. Can I pay you guys to help me with my marketing and Facebook ads? Last year, I was going to do Facebook ads for people, and nope. I didn't do very good, and a lot of other people didn't do good, so I gave it up. I may try to do it again. I don't know. I don't like to do Facebook ads. That's not my cup of tea. Google ads been ripped off here lately. The best comment that I get is, it looks like new siding. They don't ask how it was done normally. Nope, they don't care how it was done. With your sphere of influence, how has the pressure washing industry been doing this year? And what are your predictions on Christmas lights this year? So the people that was smart and did what I told them to do in March and April of go after commercial work, they're still working. The people that didn't do that, they're not working. So if you're just relying on residential, it took a tank again. It always does. It's not nothing new. But most people that I know that are doing or commercial are still very busy, still hammering down with it. My prediction with Christmas lights, I've never seen, as long as I've been doing it, and I was talking to another guy that's been doing it for 25 years. He literally went through 2000, been through '07, and he's never seen where it's went down. It's always went up. So as long as we don't get into some big stupid thing with the election stuff, I think we'll be just fine. On Christmas lights this year, and if yes, when should we launch or rock and roll? So I would start, doing a little bit now, but if this is your first year, I would start rocking and rolling. I mean, October, you can do a little bit. It's not probably going to get you a lot at this point if it's your first year. If it's your second or third year, then I would start, obviously you're doing your Facebook page. You're posting in your Facebook group, or you're posting in your Facebook page every day. You're posting on your Google My Business every day. You've got 100 photos on your Google Business. You've got all of these things going for you. You're posting to your website. So this is things that are going to help get that website moving and doing better. Can you explain a little bit more about doing Facebook Live? Am I doing this live for my followers to ask questions? A lot of times you're doing it just to get kind of, if someone that you can follow to see how they do is Bobby Duncan. And you'll see that he'll get some, but it's more of engagement and trying to get engagement. And, it's just him having fun with it, and it's what you're doing. One thing I would say is you got to make sure you have your following. So if you have a business page that don't have no following, I would do it on my private page. But even on my private page, you need to have 4,000 or 5,000 people that are in your area, so that way it's going to get out there. Sorry I'm late. I was washing a roof. How do we do it on Yelp? You don't. Yelp sucks. Period. Do you listen to Myron Golden podcast? It's fire. I love Myron Golden. I actually just did the offer challenge this week. I would highly recommend it. I've got an affiliate link, but it's a great challenge. It was 2 hours, and I paid for the VIP, so it was 2 hours every day this week of Myron, and it's all about the mindset. I love about him because he's like, most people want to teach $1 million a year, and I teach people how to do $1 million a day. Now, his next level class was $27,000. So I'm not signing up this year for it, but maybe someday. Got to start thinking that way, right? Your face and body language and knowledge is representative and reflective in your business. We all know SH is not friendly to Galvalume. Yep, you're right about that. Has anyone found a solution that can be used to clean that type of roof? We have a lot of them down here in Georgia due to cost. Yeah, you got to be careful on them. I know people that will clean them with a light mix, or they'll wet them down. You got to cool them down, but you got to be scared. I'm scared of them. Owner of Beard Soft Wash here. Yep. I live in a county area, roughly 150,000 people. That's a lot of people. A lot of people. Cincinnati, the whole greater Cincinnati is only 300,000, and I live in Kentucky, which isn't that many. Um, who should I look to talk to for work with school districts, principals, school boards, all kinds of different people, facility managers or the facility people. You kind of gotta get your know in them is what you do. Repeat customers is how you handle the job completed. The customer again, the same touch. Currently, I am doing yard signs, Google Ads, EDDM, 5 around, asking for referrals. It is starting to get hard to use signs in my area. Thank you for the help. Yeah, sometimes it can be hard. Only did 45,000 last year. Got to start somewhere. What's additional training do you offer with an online training that is not already in your website? The biggest thing is I go through a lot in the training, but the biggest thing is the Monday night Zoom call. This is just me talking. In the Monday night Zoom call, you get people like Daniel in here, who did $179,000. So he's closing jobs right now as we speak. He's going to do $500,000. Actually, between him and his brother, I think they're going to do $1 million this year or more. And so that is what the knowledge that you get in that Zoom call is worth way more than anything else. I usually talk about 10, 15 minutes on marketing or a marketing strategy, but the rest of it is just everybody asking questions. So when I first originally started that Zoom call, I did it for like brand new people, but most of those new people stuck around with me, and now they've all grown and gotten better and better. And so it's a lot of people in there that are doing very well in the business. I love Christmas lights. Will you bring back that mustache? Actually, I talked about it with the wife the other day of doing my beard for Christmas and stuff, but I don't know if I will or not. I've been trying to. I don't know. I might. Are you doing the pre-class at the Huge? No, I'm not. Which one? I'm actually doing a great Christmas light training. If you want the best Christmas light training, you need to go to christmaslights.com/in-person training, or KPW, yeah, Christmas Lights in-person training, and you will learn way more than you will ever learn at those classes, because all that is a hoorah class. I don't mean to be mean, but I'm just telling you what it is. And there's like 4 of them going right now. So that's just one of the classes that's happening down there. There's 3 other ones that are happening. So, and I already know what they're going to say. Come here and make $100,000, but they're not going to tell you how and show you how to do it. Actually, I had one guy come to my last Christmas light training. He's like, I went to that one last year and I didn't make no money. So I'm coming to you to learn how to do Christmas lights. Did my first yard sign on Friday night. Couldn't get half of them out in the dang ground. I'm going to have to stick to grassy areas. You know, the trick to doing Christmas or yard signs is put them in the hardest place, so that way they're harder to pull out. Did you retire as a firefighter? I did. In 2000 or 2020, right after the pandemic, I got tired of seeing overdoses and dead people, and because we were seeing them every day, and it was starting to mess with my psychological side of things, or the psycho side of things, and it was starting to take a pretty doggone toll on me, and I was able to get this business going enough that I was able to quit that business, or quit the firehouse. I still do the water rescue. I'm still the captain of water rescue. I know, but we don't see near as many dead. Like, we were seeing one every shift, or 2 or 3, and every shift. And it was something that, and it was everyday normal people in the nice neighborhoods and the crappy neighborhoods. And it was something that I had to get out of it. So that's why I'm not a firefighter anymore. Drill with a 3/8 hole in the ground helps for, yeah. So that's one thing is drill the holes. You can take a drill and drill them in, and then you can just slide them right on in from there. So, but yep. What time is it? So again, if you want to know, I am going to have, if you want to go to check out King of Pressure Wash, there I have a lot of information there. I've been doing blogs on my on King of Pressure Wash. I'm also doing blogs on in my Christmas light stuff. So if you go to either one of them, one of the links is starting a like Christmas light business or a pressure washing business. I go through a lot of stuff there. Go check it out. Again, I am having an in-person training. I'm having a couple in-person trainings coming up. These are actual hands-on in-person training. If the one coming up in Utah is one that is for permanent lighting, will be on Friday or Thursday, or Christmas light's going to be on Thursday. Marketing, sales, how to get more business, how to grow your business is all on Friday. And then Saturday is how to do permanent lights all on its own. And then I'll be doing one in Michigan. It'll be Friday will be pressure washing. Saturday and Sunday is Christmas lights. Friday and Saturday is marketing. My marketing day is more important than any of the other days. Yes, it is a hands-on class. Like you actually get to touch the stuff. Yes, you get to actually do the stuff, not just watch somebody. You can go hang the lights, hang them up on the trees, actually do the stuff. So then that way, when you go do your houses, you'll be in line to be able to do it. And for the pressure washing class, it is, you get to spray the gun, spray the water. So that is something that's how I do my classes. I don't just sit there. I actually do PowerPoint. I do talk it. I do show it, and I let you do it because I know that everybody learns different. I personally learn better by doing it, right? I can go watch somebody, but if I actually go do it, I learn better. So that is why it is important. I feel you, brother. It's the worst job. It's the worst, greatest job ever. It is. I agree. Are you still coming to Charlotte in October? As far as I know, I'm planning on it. I haven't got the location yet, so I'm still working on that, is the location side of things. So with that, I hope everybody, if you didn't know and you want to know when I go live on my Christmas or my pressure washing channel, I think I'm on the wrong thing here. Let me see here. I think I'm on the wrong, I'm on the wrong thing. Yeah. So if you want to know when I go, live on Christmas lights, you can type in the word light, LITE, and text me 855-619-5483. If you've got any questions, you can text this number too. You can call it. It will take you to a dialer, and I may or may not answer it. I get so many crappy potential or scam calls where I've done so many different Google business stuff. So you can, if you want to do that, there's a way that you can do that. Jason didn't read my last comment. He skipped it. It's because you comment like 20 times a night, dude. And you write a book, but I'll read it here. Last year, 2023, gross net 50 jobs, $211,000. January 20 jobs completed, 68,300. That's actually awesome. What is your excuse? I'm glad I read that one. Right? Because you believe that you need to do all the cheap jobs, and it's not about doing the cheap jobs. Cheap jobs are just that. You don't make no money doing cheap jobs. So that is something that you got to go out there and get it done. I didn't get that text this time on my business phone, and I normally do. I texted both of them. Both numbers should have got one through. One of them. Oh, you know what? It should have came through. I don't know why it didn't. I'll look at it. What's up from Arizona? Somebody just now doing it. Let's see. Jason, you're going to stir the crap, aren't you? The peak bulbs aren't peaked. I know, and they paid. It's amazing how that works when you don't worry about that. How can I get a one-on-one call? There is a way that you can do a Zoom call or a Zoom call with me. I don't. My assistants actually text this number here, this 855 number 619, and I will send you a link to it, and I can go that route with it. Are you going to do permanent light training in Charlotte? It's not going to be, I am going to go over it, but it's not going to be as good as the one in, if you're wanting to do permanent lighting, you should come to the class in Utah. That's going to be the best one. It's hard. I did it, the one in Cincinnati. I'm gonna go over it, and you'll kind of get the concept of it, and you'll understand it. But the one in Utah, you actually do a lot more. And understand a lot more of it. You know I'm not cheap. What are you using for the mass text? I use Go High Level. Not with what I drive. Even customers say, now I know why you're not cheap when I pull up. Wait, there's training in Charlotte for Christmas lights and pressure washing as we speak. I may change it to permanent lights. I kind of got to see what I got to do. I may cancel the Christmas or the pressure washing, and I might just do permanent lights side of things. I don't know. Utah is a long ways away. Everything is a long ways away from you, dude. There is nothing that is close to you. When you live in a different country, there's nothing close to you, unless we're in New York, and that's like 10 hours away from you too. So everything's far away from you. It's just nothing but a flight away. I actually did, again, if you haven't joined my Christmas light group, if you haven't joined the Facebook group in christmaslights.io, I will tell you that I'm giving stuff away for free if you comment and post in that group. So if you would like to win a pitch hopper for free, I'm going to give one of those things away this week. A pitch hopper, an hour call with me, 100-foot starter package. What's some other things? There's 5 things I'm giving away for free. And I'm going to give one away this week. I'll probably give one next week. I'm going to keep doing it, and that way you'll be able to see. I need some pressure washing training in Charleston, South Carolina. All right. So with that, I hope everybody has an amazing night. Go out there and crush it this week. Go take action. You know, the best way to get your phone ringing is to take action, knock on doors, talk to people, build networks. That is how you can get your business growing and doing better. Other than that, I hope you all have a great night, and we would talk at you all later.